Welcome back to Two Daddies Judging Baddies,
Judging baddies.
where we read internet stories and we judge people.
As harshly as we can. These are Reddit stories.
That's right. Stories straight from Reddit. We judge the people, we hit them with the facts, and then we go on about our day. Let's get into it.
Two daddies, judging baddies.
Am I the asshole for refusing to give a micro influencer, in quotations, free coffee upgrades after she tried to get me fired?
You don't like coffee otherwise. And they said she, but I was going to say that this is what you do whenever we go places.
Yeah, I hate stories like this where it's like, I'm going to post about it on my Instagram, so shouldn't I get like free stuff? No.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not a micro influencer.
You're supposed to get let off of tickets and stuff. That's the part.
Right. It's just, I don't know. You can release a reel and get 5,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? And then make another reel and people be like, who the fuck is that guy? Nobody gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gives a fuck about that local. That's the thing too. A local brand. Like how many people are going to see that video that's in the area? Fucking none. None of them are.
Yeah, it's crazy because my wife has a YouTube channel that she hasn't posted on in years. And I think it's still getting like 1,600 views in the 48-hour periods.
Really?
Yeah. It's those plant videos.
Yeah, it's that evergreen content. But yeah, we're doing a quicker intro for the YouTube viewers, so they will not be like, oh God, this is when they get into it, guys. Go.
10 minutes later.
I, 22 female, work as a barista at a small local coffee shop. We have this regular, Megan, late 20s, who has like 15,000 Instagram followers.
She's huge.
Huge. We'll tell an anecdotal story after we get done with this one. She comes in almost every day, orders this super complicated latte, then asks for extra syrup, oat milk, and whipped cream for free because she promotes the shop on her stories. My boss has no formal deal with her, so technically it's against policy. I've let it slide a few times when it was slow, but last Saturday we were slammed, line out of the door, 2 call-outs, I was solo on bar. Megan orders. I ring her up normally, $6.75. That's why millennials can't have houses.
So wait, does she like coffee? Or does she just like syrup, oat milk, and
Yeah, it's all that other stuff. People put so much in coffee to not taste the coffee. It's funny. And she goes, just add the oat milk and vanilla for free like usual. I told her I couldn't do that today because my manager was watching the cameras. True. And I'd already been warned about giving freebies. She got really snotty, said, fine, I'll just take my business elsewhere, then pulled out her phone and took a photo of me mid-reach for a cup. Before I could even say anything, she posted on her story, shop name has the worst service, barista named, my name was so rude for no reason, don't go here. Within a few hours, her followers left 3 one-star Yelp reviews specifically naming me, and 2 people came into the shop demanding discounts because, according to them, they saw what I did. My boss reviewed the security footage, laughed, and told me I did nothing wrong. But now, a couple of my coworkers says I should have just given her the $1.50 upgrade to avoid the drama and the bad press.
who the fuck are you and why do you care?
You work here, dude. Like, who gives a fuck about the reviews?
Does that come out of your paycheck?
Right. Oh, well, you know, God, if he gets all the good reviews, he's going to give us raise. That never happens in the history of ever.
I love going to those like review dumps where people go, like, and some people deserve the bad review. Like if you did something super out of line, but this is ludicrous. Like they didn't give me my free stuff.
Well, you know the guy that you met at the post office that you said was a real shady dude. He sold a fake card to Pay Money Wubby, who was like this big streamer, and they fucking review bombed the shit out of him. But they did it so much as, yeah, he should have got a bad review for that because, you know, he was like, I didn't know he knew. But they did it so much that you can go and say, hey, this, like, there's influence on people leaving these reviews. They've never been to my store and yada, yada, yada. But I digress and continue. I just thought it was funny. The owner is staying out of it. But Megan keeps commenting on our Instagram post with, remember when your staff harassed me?
I was victimized. I didn't get my free $1.50.
I feel like I was just doing my job and enforcing a policy she knew about. But the shop lost a few regulars who saw her story. So maybe I should have just let it go. Am I the asshole? No, not the asshole. Why why did the shop lose a few regulars? Like, is she the reason? Is she like the backbone of y'all store? Is she an influencer or does she run the shop page? Because how the hell are people seeing this girl's story with 15,000 followers?
Well, and on top of that, how many people are going to come in because they don't like that bitch? They're just like, nah, fuck her. We support you. And so then they come in and show their support by coming even though they weren't going to go to that coffee shop.
This coffee is delicious. The service is great. But I will not stand for y'all disrespecting Megan. So we're done here. Get out of here. So the anecdotal story is me and Dylan, we did some like free stuff for one of the haunted attractions near our area solely so we could get free trips there. We will, because he was like, yeah, y'all can come for free anytime you want to. And we was like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. We'll do that. It's a local thing, whatever, you know. When we got there, there was like these influencers and they have like the phones out and it's like this dad and he's making like his kids follow. He's like, hurry up, God, I got to shoot this video. And it was a very weird thing. And I was talking to the owner and I was like, man, this does attract a bit of the weird people. And he was like, yep. So a lot of the offers that he got, he was like, hey, how would you like to come out and shoot some stuff? You know, they were like, okay. So this one girl, she had 5,000 followers on Instagram, which ain't a thing. Ain't shit. Not a drop, not nothing. And she wanted $5,000. She was bringing a party of 10 and that there was supposed to be a dinner that they could have after she was done. And I'm like,
I mean, she knows her worth, Mike.
Yeah,
I was
rates.
expecting that same treatment, and you were just like, nah, just free entry.
I got to up my rates. Like, what am I doing here? But it's just corny people, man. That's what the internet has done. It's given rise to people like me, just corny ass people. It's given them a platform. And it's so funny that the boss does not care at all. He's like, I don't know, fuck. Like, okay. But her coworkers are like, wow. What is it? A coworker own store? Like all the coworkers, they own a piece of the store.
Well, they're all friends with her, so.
Jesus. Oh, I guess they could be friends with the influencer. That's what it would have to be. There's no way they're like, wow, you got us a 1-star review. How dare you? That looks bad on me.
Hurts my tips.
Every night when I go to bed, I'll look at that 1-star review. That's a crazy coffee shop wanting tips.
Coffee shop wanting tips?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those weird things. Like, I don't like tipping culture, period. I don't like it.
Yeah,
and
just have the company pay you more money.
Yeah, I feel obligated to tip. And like during COVID, I tipped when I'd go pick up takeout orders. And then at a certain point, I was like, but everybody can come in and sit down now. I don't think I should tip, but it's still there. And I'm like, I feel.
He's not talking about dining in, tipping. No. Yeah.
During COVID, yeah, I would pick it up and I would still tip because, you know, the people there weren't getting as much patronage, like sitting down tips. And I know that a lot of that comes, like, that's how they make a lot of their money. So I was tipping even when I was picking up for
I think once, like, you have to introduce, like, you know, personality and stuff like that. And if you're making somebody's experience more enjoyable or helping out with something that they couldn't do, that's when it's like you tip, you know?
Yeah.
But if I'm at Taco Bell and they're like, would you like to round up for
I hate that.
kids' education? Fuck them kids.
Yeah, well, it's not fuck the kids. It's like fuck the corporation.
It's just funnier to say fuck them kids, though. God. It's a good joke. It's a good quip.
Well, this got awkward.
But it's fuck the corporation. Every time I do that, I'll be like, fuck them kids. Well, Dylan will be like, well, fuck the corporations for taking all that donation and then being like, look how much we donated.
You play the funny guy. These
Dick.
are our roles.
Dick.
All right, so since I'm always on the food situation, I'm a stickler for food. Would I be the asshole if I called out my, quote, allergic friend for eating her no-go foods? Are they the asshole, Mike?
Nah, if you say, my brother all of a sudden was like, I'm allergic to hot sauce. And I was like, you're not allergic to hot sauce. This would have been a thing when we were growing up if you were allergic to hot sauce. Just say you don't like hot sauce, dude.
I'm allergic to it.
Yeah, he said he was allergic to it. So we made spaghetti and that's all we heard. Yeah, he wasn't breathing because he was scarfing down that fucking spaghetti like it was the last spaghetti he was going to eat.
And then he went into anaphylactic shock and you had to give him a EpiPen.
Yeah, and all this is a delusion. Like, I'm not even on a podcast right now. I'm in a mental facility because I murdered my brother and I can't get past that.
This is how you're coping with it.
It's Harry Potter.
All right, so would I be the asshole if I called out my allergic friend for eating her no-go foods?
No, because I got to go out of my way to fucking be like, oh, you can't have this. Like if you got a nut allergy and then you're eating a fucking
Peanut butter
Uncrustable.
sandwich?
Yeah. Well, it's like it's an Uncrustable. So
This is nut-free.
yeah, the lack of crust allows it to breathe out all the peanuts fumes.
All right, we're getting into this. I, 32 female, have a friend, Dina.
Dina.
Looks like
Well, if you put an O at the end,
Tina.
it's Dino.
Tina, yeah.
So
Or if you put
Dinah,
a T, if you
yeah.
put a T on it, it'd be Tina. So
I
Dinah.
said, well, I told you a different thing, but then my argument helped your name.
No, I think. Oh, I said Dinah,
You said Dinah.
and you said.
And I was like, well, if you throw an O on, I was like, Dina. Yeah, because if you throw an O on there,
It'd be
Dino, and then it'd be Dean. Oh, fuck me.
All right, so I, 32 female, have a friend, Dinah, 38 female, who has a constantly changing and ever-growing list of things she won't eat. Gluten, dairy, certain spices, nightshades, beans, certain protein isolates, specific thickening agents, and nuts. When I host a party, if there isn't anything totally free of all the things on her list of the week, then she'll refuse to eat at all and kind of pout a little. That's why you bring your own shit if you are that allergic to everything. Oh, so you mean this thing has gluten, dairy? Like
Here's the
15
thing: if you're
different
not
things?
dealing with an allergy and it's something with your gut, maybe it's like a IB whatever, whether it's S or D or GERD or whatever. If you drink some kombucha for like a week, you can eat everything under the sun. It don't matter. As soon as I get heartburn, like if it's been 2 months later, the first time I get heartburn, that week I'm drinking kombucha. I never have heartburn because my bacteria in my stomach's just like, fuck, we fucking this food up. You ain't gonna feel nothing. We got you, bro.
I remember when I first got you on it, you're like, ew,
What?
vinegar.
Well, I used to drink it back in the day, and I used to do the fermented sauerkraut. The fermented sauerkraut was a chore, and then the kombucha was homemade, so it was straight apple cider vinegar tasting. And then you had those.
Did you guys
flavored
not
ones.
flavor it?
No.
Oh, when I was making it, I would always put in like blueberries, or I'd do lemon and ginger, and I always flavored mine.
Nope, she had the SCOBY and then made it from the SCOBY, and that was it. But he gets some, and I took a sip, and I was just like, man, I don't want to sit here and sip on vinegar water. Now, low-key delicious, because I got accustomed to the taste. And then, once again, if I get, which I need to stay, ever vigilant on it. Ever vigilant, whatever, ever vigilant. I thought that was a word. But I need to stay on it so I don't get to the point where I'm like, oh, I got heartburn today.
Feed that biome.
I was fucking dying, dude, from stomach issues. I was on Prilosec, all this shit. It was killing me. I had gastroparesis from the Prilosec. My body wasn't digesting food. It was terrible. A year of pain. And I ate a jar of fermented sauerkraut, and it all went away. I was just like, all right, well, that's crazy.
Solution. All right, so I take pride in my cooking, and I take pride in being a good host who takes care of her guests. It upsets me when I read the labels on everything. Some soy sauces are not gluten-free. Some dairy substitutes have guar gum, etc. Only to have her announce a new forbidden food that wasn't on the list before. But what grinds my gears more is when I do manage to make something she can eat, only for her to take a few small bites before sneaking into the kitchen to eat the, quote, regular food. For example, I completely sanitized my whole kitchen before making her a hypoallergenic pizza.
Just take me out of this earth, Lord.
Then put it in an airtight container before making regular pizza for everyone else. When she arrived, she said thanks. She took a slice of her special pizza. One other person asked her if they could try hers just to see how different it was, so they also took a slice. The other 6 slices remained untouched. Then, when I got up to use the bathroom during the big game, I saw Dina. What did I say? Tina.
Yeah, just say Dina. Yeah, if I would have said Dina, I would have been smart. But you said Dinah, and I was like, well, Dino, throw an A at the end of it, brother. And I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So just say...
So wait, I proved yours, and then you proved mine.
Just say Tina. Yeah, we each proved each other's wrong.
Okay.
Or right. Sorry.
When I saw Tina eating a slice of the regular pizza in the kitchen over the sink, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make a fuss, and also I had to pee pretty bad. When I came back out of the bathroom, she had rejoined the party. No ill effects were observed. Yeah, no, I'm fucking calling you out for that.
Fuck yeah, in front of all our friends.
I did all of that just to make sure you could eat, and I was being extremely thoughtful, and then you just go ahead and eat the regular pizza. Why am I making you a special dish if you can just eat the regular pizza? All right. So later, another friend complained of the same thing, spending hours doing the research, making the special dish, and then catching Tina eating a Girl Scout cookie. I'm currently making a cake for Tina's birthday. I used to be a pastry chef, and it's taken a lot of skill and effort. If I see her eating regular food, would it be a dick move for me to ask her why she does this? Edited to add, wow, this blew up while baking. I don't think my friend of nearly a decade is a drama llama. I think she is.
She's definitely not a labor llama.
Not a labor llama, because that's tough.
And 30% off.
And 30% off with code 2DJB. But I also think it's time I had an open and honest conversation with her about the recent food weirdness. At least the goofy cake turned out well. So there's an update. Had the hard talk, found out there are some specific physical and mental
Mentical. There we go.
physical and mental health things going
When you
on.
see the doctor said it wasn't physical, it's all mental. It's all up here, baby.
We could totally make a labor llama shirt about that. All right. It honestly seems like she's been pretty embarrassed about it. We figured out some good strategies that will work better for my cultural need to feed people without making me want to pull my hair out when she stumbles on taking care of herself. For instance, I will always have her favorite fancy mineral waters in my fridge as a way to show her I'm thinking of her. Jeez, she is a drama llama.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
I've never heard that term before. Drama llama? Drama queen I've heard, but
Yeah.
never drama
I guess because it
llama.
rhymes.
It's cute.
It's always regional, man. It's insults are just regional.
All right, so for food-centric occasions, she will bring along something that she can eat and also text me a few days ahead of time with her allergist's current working theory about what is making her sick.
Sounds like she's just a hypochondriac. Or there's hypochondriacs, and then there are people that want...
The attention.
It's like sympathy, yeah. It's like, because you can't... If someone's like, oh, I can't have gluten. I have a gluten
oh,
allergy.
wow, what's going on?
Oh,
I've been
man.
dealing with this
That
little
sounds
tummy
terrible.
bug.
Yeah. It's so weird the things people will say they have just to get either pity points or, they want to be the center of attention.
Well, and then also you have to add into that healthcare is so expensive that they have to self-diagnose everything, and so they find something on TikTok that sounds close and plausible, so they're like, I just avoid, nightshade because tomatoes and blah, 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 they're bad.
I do the same thing, but I do it the reverse way. So what I do is if I have like symptoms and I'm like, I Google it. I used to be a big hypochondriac, but I'll Google it and then I'll go to Reddit and I'll go with like the least severe thing. And then I always just feel good. My philosophy is if it don't resolve itself or if it resolves itself within 2 weeks, I don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't even worry. Don't even care.
My arm's just like this, but I think it'll resolve in at least 2
Except
weeks.
for when I peed blood. That was a man peeing out blood out of his pecker. I tell you what, any
Trigger
guy.
warning, trigger warning.
Yeah, any listener that's a guy that would pee blood out of his pecker would immediately go to the hospital. Women are just like, fucking, it's always bleeding. Which, I mean, blood and pee for a woman, that would still, I think. They'd be like, I got to make a doctor's appointment. They might not be as, because when I did it, I was just like, oh, God, why is that happening? Pee-pee, why are you peeing blood?
So I'm going to go with a controversial comment. It's a little long one.
All right.
But you would be the asshole. Sorry, I know you want to put her in her place and you're frustrated, but contrary to the echo chamber's desire to humiliate your friend, you will be, in fact, the asshole for putting her on the spot for that. That doesn't have to stop you. It's okay to be an asshole sometimes. But let me give you a scenario. Imagine you are allergic to dairy and nuts. You tell your friend, and they agree to accommodate you at their next gathering. You arrive and see they've got you some dairy-free ice cream, but most things appear to have nuts. No big deal. You enjoy the party and your ice cream. Things seem fine, but then you see it. Someone is eating your favorite ice cream from when you were a child. You know you shouldn't, but as most people know, lactose intolerance won't necessarily kill you. You'll just be in for a painful and regretful evening in the bathroom. You give in to your temptation and sneak some into the kitchen, knowing that the evening is destroyed, but it's so good. The toilet at home is annihilated, but it was worth it. Then you go see your friend the next week, and she blows up at you for making her get you special ice cream when, quote, you were just fine eating the regular ice cream. Gluten allergies tend to work similarly. Nuts are more of a throat closes, then you die type of thing. But a slice of pizza, eating it sneakily over the sink, she's already paid the price for that choice, if she isn't lying. But yeah, I think it'd be better to just more casually show interest in understanding the allergies she has and throw in that you were worried when you saw she was eating something she is allergic to. Maybe she's a faker. I don't know. But being an asshole doesn't actually help you at all. I don't actually hate that take.
But it's not being an asshole. It's just she's being honest.
Yeah.
She's not, and it's not even, yes, it's am I the asshole, but she pulled her alone and did it alone, didn't confront her in front of everybody.
Well, there was the update. And so, like, she asked if she was going to be the asshole.
Would I be the asshole?
And so, like, I don't hate that take. I mean, it is nuanced of, like, hey, just talk to the friend and be like.
It's a terrible take. And this is why it's a terrible take. Because if you eat dairy and you get the shits, it's not because you're lactose intolerant. It's because our body, when we eat, like, cow dairy and stuff like that, still will be like, I don't really recognize this as food, so I'm gonna pull in more water and shit to help digest it. That's why, like, when your body starts pulling in a lot of water to your gut, that's why it dehydrates you, you get diarrhea and shit like that. That's science, okay? My son, his best friend, is lactose intolerant. If he eats dairy, he immediately starts busting out in hives. It's not a dairy allergy. It's nothing like that. He is lactose intolerant. Like, his body immediately starts killing itself if it has dairy in his system because it just recognizes it as a threat. The same thing with gluten and celiac disease. That person right there is someone who's just like, it's like with when people were like, when bisexuals started talking about being bisexual, everybody was bisexual. You know what I'm saying? Gluten-free, really?
How was that phase for you?
It was crazy.
So many more sexual partners when you just open up that you can suck a dick to.
I love the people that are like, I'm bisexual, but it's like it's only guys. And I'm just like,
you just gay, bud. It's okay.
I was like, have you ever been with a woman? Or, my sister would always be like, I'm bisexual. I was like, oh, have you been with a woman? She'd be like, no. I'm like, well, I think if there was a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? But people who have intolerances, they just don't get the shits. You know what I'm saying? They get severe stomach pain,
Well, I mean, that's like severe allergicness. That's not just an intolerance. I think that take is not bad simply because it's communication. Your friend made you make all this food.
I agree with you on that point.
And so they're making you do all this special work, and then they really are just kind of throwing it in your face because then they're eating the thing that they say they can't eat. So the small communication of being like, hey, bud, like, why did I make all this special shit if you're just going to eat the regular pizza anyways?
Every time, though. That's the thing that loses it. Like, you get to be the asshole if it's everybody who encounters this girl. Like, she cannot be like, that's a nostalgic childhood num-nums for me. If you, 10 out of 10 times, cannot eat the special food and eat the bad food, you ain't got an intolerance. You ain't. Yeah. Like, there's actual dissuasion for someone to order a less delicious piece of food because they're scared of what happens if they eat the delicious piece of food.
Yeah.
So,
well, I have a friend of mine that he was allergic to shellfish, and then he just kind of eats it in little increments so that he's trying to build up like a tolerance for it because he misses, like, he wasn't allergic to it, then became allergic to it, and now he's like trying to get back to where he's not allergic to it again. And
that's
it's
so
working.
crazy, developing an allergy later in life.
Yeah, it's working for him though. He can eat like crab and stuff and shrimp.
So, growing up, I never had a problem with pollen, ever.
Yeah.
So I open up the curtain on the back porch, and I'm like, what the fuck is up with the backyard? It's covered in, like, gnats. They're all flying around. And I go step on the porch, and I have terrible eyesight. So I'm standing in the gnats, and I thought it was just, like, very funny and cool because they're gnats. They can't bite you or do anything to you. So I was just, like, Lord of the Flies for a second there. And Amy comes outside, and she goes, your hair is... or my tuft on my head was so yellow. And she was like, why are you standing in all that pollen? I was like, it's not pollen, it's gnats. Look at it. And she's like, no, that's pollen. And I look closer. Fuck yeah, it was pollen.
And then you were allergic to it? Or
yeah, I had the my throat. What'll happen is if, like, I'm outside, it's have you ever drank water the wrong way?
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't want to keep coughing because you're embarrassed, but your throat will start itching so bad. That's how it feels like, and it fucking sucks. But yeah, as a kid, it never affected me that much pollen. I've never seen as much pollen. Like, back in the day, I did not see that much pollen compared to today.
Which is weird.
It is weird. But do you not notice that, though? Like, that shit rains down now.
I didn't grow up here, so I don't know what the normal springtime. It's always been like that since I've been here. But I've never really had allergies either, but I think it was for like 3 or 4 years in a row. every time that the pollen would come, I would get like these splitting migraines, like up and down my face, like from the top of my head, behind my eyes, like in my throat. Like it was just like pain. And it would literally like shut me down. I would not be able to, like my eyes would start watering.
Clog that ear up on that side too. Yeah.
No, not clogged ear, but like just like the most pressure you could put on like
That's what
one
I'm
side
saying.
of
Like
your
the
face. It's
pressure
just
is
like,
in your ear, and I hate those.
And then I guess the past 2 years I haven't had it yet. I
My
knocked
wife-
on wood.
I think that, everything that I encounter in life is the universe being like, well, maybe you should, let's walk in their shoes and see how good it is, because my wife would get migraine headaches. And I'm like, bro, it's just a headache. Like, ooh.
Get over it.
All right,
Toughen
you gotta
up.
sit in a dark room for a headache.
Don't be a
Like,
drama llama.
I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In Greensboro, and I guess because it was like so bright or something, I don't know what it was doing, but I was also thinking a lot too, because that's what I hate about long terms. I gotta think, gotta use my brain. So after a couple hours of that, like I was like, something's wrong with my head. Like I don't know what's going on. And then I had to drive from Greensboro back to Lexington with a headache, and then sit in a dark room, a migraine headache. And I was like, I would never. Only sympathy, because it is the worst ever. Nothing will make me feel like I'm dying quicker though than nausea. I fucking hate nausea.
I think the biggest thing though is just how much you announce how miserable you are. Because that's my big thing is like, I pretty much keep all my misery to myself when I am feeling miserable. I'm not just like, oh man, my head. I just muscle through, and like that's the one thing with like other people is when they're like, oh man, my back, my knee, my shoulder, and like it's just on repeat, and it's like a loop of that for hours. I'm like, is it feeling better when you talk about it?
I shouldn't do this because it might start a tangent, but you lying, dog. Because that one time when you hurt your neck, you had the crick in your neck. That was the all day conversation.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to remember. It was a couple weeks ago. I'm trying to remember what you were doing, but you had hurt something like right up here in your back, and that was the all day thing. Standing up, you'd be like, ah.
Okay, so other than that, name another time.
Well, I can't because I'm not.
There's no other
You're
time.
wifing me right now. You're doing the wife thing. I gave you an example. You're like, okay, besides that example.
My neck hasn't been hurt in months, so it wasn't a couple weeks ago.
Everything's a couple weeks ago to me, bro. It doesn't matter. We could talk about something we did when we first met. I'll be like, a couple weeks ago we were doing that. It's
I
all
think
a
for the
blur.
first year you were always like, yeah, a couple weeks ago when we did that.
All right, so Dylan actually submitted a story to Reddit, and it says, am I the asshole because I refuse to finish a story if my husband interrupts?
That's me. I refuse.
That's all I really have to ask. My husband insists on interrupting any story I tell while he is present to either correct me or to add to it. The latest example was today. We are visiting his parents for Easter, and I was telling them about our plans for our vacation this summer. We are doing a Mediterranean cruise. I was saying how it starts in Rome, and he interrupted me to say it was a cruise of the Greek Isles, which it is, and it starts from Rome. So I stopped talking to let him finish the story, which he doesn't know. He doesn't know any of the ports or of call or excursions. Literally all he knows is that the cruise starts and ends in Rome. HR kept pressing me to add information. I politely declined. I said he was so anxious to talk about how the cruise started in Rome, he must know all about it. I guess HR. But he kept pressing me to add information. I politely declined. I said he was so anxious to talk about how the cruise started in Rome, he must know all about it. He is off sulking because his parents think he's an idiot for not knowing anything besides that one tidbit. He said, I made home look so bad.
Made him look so
Oh,
bad.
God bless America.
I mean, it says home, but you're good sometimes, like super good at deciphering sometimes, and then sometimes when it's
because we did the long ADHD first.
yeah.
He said, I made him look so bad, he is sleeping in his little sister's room. She still has a twin bed.
What?
Lucky for him, she is with her fiance's family this weekend. She's
terrible.
fucking up these pronouns. So am I the asshole for allowing him to finish every story of mine he chooses to insert himself into, whether he knows about the subject or not? Not reading any of the edits.
So I think that that's so funny when people do that, and I see so many people do it, especially couples. But like my mom and dad will be talking to me about something, and then one of them will say something that isn't necessarily 100% the correct thing, but they'll be like, no, it was Tuesday, and then it just throws off the whole flow of the story.
It was
It's
Tuesday
like,
at noon. You remember we were out there getting
no,
coffee.
it was Wednesday.
No, It was Wednesday.
But it's like it throws the whole flow of the story. And like if they just let that thing go by, nobody would know. And like they know because it really has no bearing or weight unless it's like, hey, we're meeting here on Tuesday. Then correct and be like, oh, it's Wednesday. But in a general story, if it's a nothing burger of a story, just let the little detail that's wrong just go on through. It's fine.
Right. I still think that's adorable. Your
What?
parents have been together so long. So it's just like their little, you know, they're getting off on a little tangent about what day it was and shit like that. They just like to talk to each other. I guess if like they didn't like to talk to each other, they just power through it. And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I think it's the thing of but they'll sit there and bicker back and forth about what the actual correct one is, and then one of them will be like, "Oh, gotcha," and just get like frustrated about it. And that's the thing. It's like just let it. Especially if they start bickering, just one of the two of you just stop. Just let it go.
How long have they been together?
41 years.
Maybe that's just like, you know, how you get, you know, upset at your spouse, you know, and you just that's when you choose to do it. And when they're telling a story and they're really excited about that story, you'd be like, I think it was a Wednesday. You just hit them with that little detail right there. And that's the healthy way they, you know, get back at each other.
Yeah, it's funny. The first comment says the resentment is building, I think.
It is. And it sucks. Like, I mean, interrupting for that to be, well, actually, I'm just excited to talk and I like talking. And I get happy. I'm talking with my friend. I'm talking with my other friends listening. And
The only thing is, though, is you have to understand, like, when, like, with this, she was sitting there trying to talk about it, and then he butts in to, like, and stops her whole flow of telling the story. And then she's just reached the point where she's like, fuck it, you tell the story. You tell it.
right.
If you want to interrupt, like, you just tell the story. And then he falls on his face and then gets mad, and poor guy.
Which is great, though. I mean,
What's the most controversial comment? The most controversial comment. It doesn't look like there's any controversial comments. The most controversial one is he is off sulking because his parents think he's an idiot for not knowing anything besides that one tidbit. Oh, honey, that's not the only reason. Not the asshole. Somebody said he was. Let me get back to the controversial comment because it was a funny response to that one. Where'd it go? It's not letting me do it.
who's sleeping in the same bed, though? Like, my wife makes me look dumb. I still want to snuggle that ass. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're at like his parents' house or whatever because he's sleeping, and maybe that's like at night. But I was thinking that they were talking about like he's like taking a nap. But the next one underneath says the other reason is he's questioning how to dump her and save his assets and needs peace and quiet, something she doesn't give him because she's a constant nag and a nitpicker.
That didn't sound like she was the constant nag and she wasn't nitpicking anything. It sounded like he was doing that.
No, it's her problem. She's to blame.
Men can't nitpick. It can only be the women. Only the women can nitpick.
All right. So this one's about kids. Anybody got any kids? You had any kids have sleepovers for their birthday? Am I the asshole for making a mom pick up her daughter in the middle of the night from my kid's sleepover? I'm guessing.
Read that again.
Am I the asshole for making a mom pick up her daughter in the middle of the night from my kid's sleepover?
No. Especially if they're being a difficult child.
So this week,
I think that's better for the kid too, though. If like, you know, they're angry, sad, whatever the fuck they're doing, it's like, hey, mom, come get them because they probably feel better with familiarity.
This weekend, I had a small birthday sleepover for my 8-year-old daughter and a couple of her friends. The night started completely normal. The girls had snacks, watched movies, and went to bed around 10:30. But around 1:30 a.m., one of them came into my room crying and woke me up. Single mom here, so there's no man in the room. Don't worry. Dad can't be sleeping there? Like, I mean, that's a problem? I don't get how that's... Kid's upset. Dad's not necessarily a problem.
Right. Read that line again.
Around 1:30 a.m., one of them came into my room crying and woke me up. And then in parentheses, single mom here, so there's no man in the room. Don't worry.
I guess like to say walked in on them doing it or something.
At 1:30 a.m., the kids went to bed at 10:30. They're like, you have kids over at your house. You shouldn't be fucking
At all, yeah,
kids
yeah.
in your house. Like, you're having a sleep sleepover. No, that's a night you do not fuck.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it is like, even from my brain, like if my daughter's like, I want to have a sleepover, I'm like, well, what guys are there? And I understand
Yes.
women can be predators too. Guys just do it at a higher rate.
Yeah. But not every guy is like, if you are letting your kid have a sleepover, like she's saying that she came and woke her up. If it's a happily married couple, you're not going to let your kid go to a sleepover because it's a happily married couple. Like only single mothers are the ones that can have sleepovers with girls at their house.
Right. It's just the parenting thing of you want to protect your kid, but also you can't protect them so much that you ruin their fucking lives, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where
you should
took a
know
step
the
back.
parents.
Fuck yeah, that's what's good too. Like we've went to the one house where the guy looks like Anton Chigurh, and I was just like, you would never be here alone. And then I went over to houses where I could tell the dude is just he's a guy, you know? And that's the thing though. A lot of guys do it, but it's a lot of guys you would expect.
Yeah.
Like you would expect. It's not like it comes out of just like a left field of a lot of the guys who are like predators and shit like that. They're alone. And people are going to be like, well, I was molested by somebody. I was molested by somebody that was in a marriage too. But I've seen way more instances of it happening to fucking, like, it's the person you would most expect.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing, though, is like, it's not, you shouldn't, if you have a concern about your kid being safe, you shouldn't let your kid go do that. Like, that should be the first thing. Like, so if this woman did have a husband, you should be confident that they are safe over there with, I don't even know, a couple of her friends. So it's like 3 or 4 girls. The dad should not be a concern for you if you're going to let your kid stay there.
Right.
Like that should not happen. But I just think it's weird how they called it out. Like single mom here, so no man in the room. Don't worry. Like that's such a weird.
The biggest thing too is just how does their child interact with their father? That's it. That's if a kid is very comfortable and relaxed around their dad. If you go to someone's house and you're meeting parents and like the kid is very nervous around their father, you can be like, yeah, fuck this instance, you know. Also, if pretty free range if it's a black family and the dad's black, then I'm just like, yeah, ain't nothing happening here.
Racist.
Well, hey, look, I'm sorry, but I grew up in the hood and did all that. I ain't not once met a black predator, you know. I know there are. Calm down. I know there are, but it does seem like a more white activity. There's just a fuck ton of white people in America, so it could be that too.
Well, and you were surrounded by also white people that did that, so you have a preconceived notion on that as well. All right, so she said she was scared and wanted her mom. While I was trying to calm her down, she told me this was her first time sleeping somewhere new, which was unbeknownst to me and caught me off guard. I did my best to try to comfort her. I sat with her and got her a drink, but she kept crying and getting more worked up, repeating that she wanted to go home. I gave it some time, but it wasn't getting any better. So at that point, I felt like it wouldn't be right to force her to stay somewhere where she was clearly not happy. I called her mom and asked if she could come pick her up right then and there. Her mom came, but she seemed annoyed. The next morning, she texted me saying she wished that I had just waited it out until the morning because now her daughter is embarrassed and might not want to try sleepovers again. That's your fault, Mom.
Yeah, I got to get rid of this kid. I don't want her in my house. Now she's not going to want to do these sleepovers.
Yeah, but like the mom should have A, told the parent, and then B, could have coached the kid on the phone right there. Been like, hey, babe, no, everything's good. Like, it's just like sleeping at our house. You know, if you go back to bed, your friends are there. Everything's good. Nothing bad's going to happen. Like, I know.
Right.
Blah, blah. But, like, you didn't do that. Like, I get that the mom said, like, hey, come pick her up. But you could have been like, can I just talk to her for a minute? Like, I think she'll probably be fine if I just coach her a little bit. But you didn't do that. So it's not the mom's fault. Like, hey, your kid's saying that she wants to go home. Can you come get her? No, just give her 1 second. Let me talk to her on the phone.
She pulls up to get her kids. You're like, you know how hard it is to schedule a 15-person orgy. Do you know how the stars have to align for that?
I cannot get the deposit back on that hotel room.
Good God. Yeah, come on. Bro, I'd prefer if my kid was just wanting to have a sleepover with me and not her friends. I would like to be her best friend.
Where I'm frustrated is that I feel like I was put in a bad position and destined to fail from the start, no matter what. I wasn't made aware that this is her first sleepover, and I don't think it's fair to use someone else's house, especially during their child's birthday party, as the guinea pig without giving them a heads up. I'm not mad at the girl at all. I felt really bad for her, but I also don't think it's my job to handle that level of distress all night. But I'm wondering if I should have just stayed up with her a little bit longer to see if she'd go back to sleep and try to push through until morning, as the mom said. Okay, so in her note about there not being a guy there, had this been any sort of guy involved, this would have been a terrible thing. Like, why didn't you just immediately send her home? Like, no, a kid that is in distress and says that they want to go home, you do not keep at your house. Doesn't matter. And like, especially then you put it in a guy's position of like, what do you mean you didn't send the girl home immediately?
Right.
Like, super sketchy. So no, as a mom, you should not do that thing either. It's the mom of the child talks to the kid, gets them convinced to stay, and or you come and pick them up. But like, don't terrorize the kid and be like, no, you said you were going to stay. Now you got to stay all night.
Yeah. I mean, I did make the jokes beforehand about the sketchiness between like having a child sleepover, and that men are held to such a way higher standard of how they have to, like, it's crazy that if
Because
a
of
child,
terrible scenarios.
yeah,
Because of terrible scenarios. But
we can't say that because of other guys. But if you saw a 4-year-old lost, you're, as a guy, you're like, you have a little bit of apprehensiveness, you know, because you're like, fuck, this looks terrible.
well, the most controversial comment, and I guess goes to what we were talking about, but then it's quoting from there. It says, so there was no man in the room, don't worry. And then the person says, worry about what? Not the asshole for the situation, but you're probably the asshole for that comment.
I thought it was like I don't know, maybe which again, it's like if kids are sleeping over at your house, you don't have sex. You don't, if you sleep naked, you don't sleep naked now.
No.
Yeah, you don't sleep naked tonight. Like, that's what I thought it was, but no.
Yeah, in that scenario, but like, yeah, what kind of Neanderthal would you be if you do things that are not appropriate for that scenario?
How embarrassing would that be to your kid too?
I remember being a kid and like dads would just wake up with their whitey tighties on and walk through the house, and I'm like, you got fucking company here. This isn't just your family. Like,
I talk so much shit about that, just the tidy whities walking through the house, but not if any kids at my house, duh, 100%. But if nobody's at my house, I'm walking my tight ass Pokemon fucking briefs on.
Yeah, I don't walk around with my underwear on. My kids, my stepdaughter does not ever see me in my underwear, but my 5-year-old will. But it's literally from the time I get out of the shower and then grab my clothes. It's never like I don't hang out in my underwear.
Right. If it's like, 11 o'clock at night, I've been laying in bed, watching some videos, neglecting to go to sleep, and I'm just like, I'm just walking through.
Yeah.
Not naked.
Everybody should be asleep at that time. But yeah, no, not naked.
Yeah, well, I'm a terrible dad, so they don't, my son will just be in the living room. Hey, Dad. What's up, bud? That's it.
You're still up? Yeah, no.
Especially if it's the weekend, I don't. As long as they're good in school, I don't really enforce a curfew on the weekends or summer.
We've gotten pretty lax with the 14-year-old. She can kind of decide when she goes to bed. I mean, she goes upstairs, and I swear 12 o'clock at night, she'll be coming down the stairs, and we still have like a gate to try and keep the cats from going upstairs because they'll just pee in random places and nobody will know about it until far too long. But yeah, she's up till 12, 1 o'clock some nights, even on school nights. And it's like, as long as you get up for school.
Yep, as long as you do the things you got to do, I ain't going to.
Which on that note, she didn't get up for school today.
Really?
Her alarm didn't go off.
That's different. I just can't stand people that'll be like, wow, you need an alarm. Yeah, I need an alarm. I'm sorry I've not conditioned my body to wake up at a specific time.
My parents will wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's wild.
3:30. And I'm like, why'd you get up out of bed? Like, just don't get up. They're like, I was awake. Nah.
All right. So my story, a little bit of a better one.
Oh, fine. Judge mine.
No. Like the sleepover's good. I think it's a conversation piece. It probably still could be cut up into like social media stuff. But I think about that too. I'm like, oh man, this story, I'm gonna be able to cut this one up. Nothing's worse than cutting a video up and trying to get people over to the podcast, which is a lot easier if you recommend people. By the way, just saying, talking to you, listener. If you recommend this podcast, that's the best way to get people over here. But when I'm cutting something up to get people over to the podcast and then it gets like 10 views, I'm just like, fuck. Wasn't a great piece. I knew the one about the shadow puppet and him jacking off. I knew that was going to do numbers, boy. And
my wife was very concerned about the nudist colony one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like, you put that shit out, and I was like, I don't know what Mike puts out. Like we have some wild ass stories that we read about and say some wild ass shit, but
Yeah,
I
we're
don't
not
know.
telling people to masturbate in front of us. That's a guy doing that. So hey, let it out. Send it. Post it. Post it.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. I'll write it right now and we'll do it live. I'm having a hard time being attracted to my husband. When I met my husband, he was a masculine male, assigned male at birth, and dressed as such. He dressed this way our entire dating relationship. Gradually, he grew his hair out. It didn't concern me. We got married a year and a half into our relationship. Since then, he's been a different person. He started wearing feminine clothes. He says they're neutral. They are not. They're very feminine.
They're for the ladies.
Think blouses and colorful slacks.
No, that's girl clothes.
Yeah. Wow, you're dating people out their clothes. He wears makeup and dangling earrings daily. None of this is wrong. He says this is what makes him feel like his authentic self. Great. I support that for anyone. Be who you are. But I'm not attracted to the feminine aspects. I don't wear makeup or dress up. Stupid phone. I got to keep my phone. Everybody's sick right now, so I got to be on call. And then spam's just like, oh, you got to be on call? All right, where was I at? Be who you are. I'm not just attracted to the feminine aspect. I don't wear makeup or dress up. I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl. Maybe that's why he was attracted to you.
One of us has to be a lady in this relationship.
Right. I'm more masculine than he is. I find myself getting slightly embarrassed in public sometimes when he stops somewhere to look at women's clothing, and that's what he wears. He doesn't wear any men's clothing anymore. He swears he doesn't want to be a woman, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm not physically attracted to this feminine side of him. For the first time since getting married 5 years ago, I've started to think about divorce. I don't know if it's serious, but the more feminine he gets, the less I find him attractive physically. This is not who I married. I've talked to my psychologist about it, and her solution was to talk to him about it. I did. It's like I drowned a puppy in front of him. I get no one wants to be told how to dress, or I get no one wants to be told how they dress is upsetting their significant other. I just, ... I feel sad that my attraction is becoming less and less while he becomes his true self. Not the asshole. I mean, you're attracted to what you're attracted to.
Well, and yeah, like it's one of those things. If you were a jeans and t-shirt girl when you guys met, you haven't changed. Like if you went from wearing blouses and colorful clothes and all that stuff and into that, like, and that's where people are going to get mad is that like technically if he's less attracted to you now that you're wearing pants and shirts and you're
Duluth and some flannels, yeah.
Then, you know, that's okay. And that's the hard part with, you can still love each other, but if you're not attracted to each other in that way anymore, then you can decide whether you want to stick around or leave. Because honestly, he might not be as attracted to you now that he's being his true self, going to a more feminine thing.
But this is the thing too, because if it does like lead into like him wanting to be a woman and shit like that, like you just kind of wasted her time. That's the problem. Like a woman will post and be like, yeah, my husband just told me that he was gay after 10 years. And everybody's like, oh, you got to support him through this time. But fuck no, you just wasted 10 years of.
If they did it out of malice and like they knew the whole time, like, and that's part of it though, is like society as a whole, like tries to put people in boxes. And so like, I don't think necessarily like wasting one's time is the way it is, unless you knew the whole time, you weren't attracted and you put on a front to like try and woo this person. I think
that's how gay works, brother.
But some people like they legitimately think that they can get out of it. And so it's not like, it's not in a hateful way that they wasted somebody's time. Yes, did it end up being a waste of time, but you also had great times together and you spent, so you can't just automatically say they're like, they were a terrible person for wasting your time.
I'm not saying they're a terrible person.
Well, I mean, that's what you said. So
I'm saying you don't have to be like, oh my God, and let's explore your gay side and let's get you a whole bunch of guys. And
well, you don't have to take that ride with them. Like you didn't sign up for that. You signed up for you guys being a couple. And if all of a sudden somebody's trying to change the direction of the relationship, that's on them. They can decide that, but you don't have to go on that part of their journey with them. You can just be like, all right, we'll see each other around at Walmart.
The only thing I don't like is the the denial. Like she is not the asshole because you don't control who you are attracted to. You know what I'm saying? So if you get with a guy, he's very like masculine and, you know, beard and everything like that. And then he cuts it off, starts wearing a wig and, you know, puts on women's clothes. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. She's okay with how she feels. I just don't like if someone's buying blouses and stuff like that and flats and, you know what I'm saying, dangly earrings and you go, hey, that's feminine or, you know, and they're like, no, it's not.
It's neutral.
It's neutral. That's no. Yeah. It's not neutral.
Yeah, and I think the OP did great. They're like, that's fine. Not a problem with it. I'm just not attracted to it anymore. And that's fine too. Like everybody has that option. And I think that's the hard part with the way that marriages and all this stuff works is because like, I mean, he could have been hiding all that because he thought he had to. And then he now feels comfortable enough to like let that out, not realizing that that completely fucks up the relationship that you guys have because you do not like that. And that's not who you originally signed on to spend the rest of your life with. So yeah, I want to see the most controversial comment.
Top comment said, you can't force yourself to be attracted to femininity. Blah, that's a word. That's not how any of this works. And your husband realizes this is an important and very fundamental part of identity, or he wouldn't be doing the work of changing how he presents himself. You're simply incompatible now. You aren't betraying him. You haven't changed. I don't like that. I want to see controversial.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. This one says, it's almost like a bait and switch. He showed you one version of himself, and then once you were married and he didn't think you would leave, he sprung this hidden version of himself onto you. That's not okay. And you have every right to expect the person you married would substantially remain the same person, or you wouldn't have married him in the first place. You know who else does this? Abusers. They let the mask slip once they think they have you locked down. Now he thinks he can make you out to look like the bad guy if you leave him for being his, quote, authentic self. All that says is when he was dating you, he was presenting a fake version of himself. That's deceptive, and you don't have to accept a marriage built on lies.
Here's the reverse side of the coin. Yeah, sorry. Your husband deserves someone who loves every side of him and is less concerned about their gender presentation. No shame to you, but there are definitely women out there who would go for a man with a feminine side. Yeah, and they sign on for that. It's not just out of nowhere. And I think in that circumstance, you're confusing feminine side with emotional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I think they're confusing that with. I think a lot of women would be taken aback if they came home one day and their husband was dressed as a completely masculine, and then they came home one day and he was dressed as a woman.
Or vice versa. Because like that's the thing is if you signed up for a guy who's got like fancy style, he's very like metro and takes care of like every little detail, and then all of a sudden he turns into an ogre like me and Mike, you'd be like, wait a second, no, I bought GQ. I didn't buy Duluth Trading Company.
Right. Would you appreciate it if your husband told you that he's not attracted to your masculine dress and that it embarrasses him in public? He signed on for it. That's how she dressed when they were dating.
She didn't go into it, so she might have been very feminine and then decided. But like from what she's saying, we can assume that she's been this way the whole time.
If you actually love your husband, I don't understand this. They're just clothes. Clothes don't have a gender just because they're placed in certain departments. You don't even dress based on female gender stereotypes. You need to check your bias and bigotry before you lose a good husband. Perhaps you should speak to a therapist that specializes in LGBTQIA plus issues, and not because you or your husband aren't straight, but in order to get a broader perspective on gender identity. Bro, what if someone got with a guy, okay? What I don't understand what's so crazy about this. If you get with a man who is right here, my husband is 6'3", 200 pounds. He's very handsome, but he'd look horrible dressed as a woman. If he suddenly started doing that, I'd definitely not be attracted to him anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the part where I draw the line is because it's okay for him to completely change, but it's not okay for your view of the relationship to change.
Right.
Like that doesn't seem fair that like he gets to just go off and like, I mean, honestly, if say it was a normal like relationship where he's playing the masculine role and she's playing the feminine role, and then all of a sudden she cuts off her tits and starts, trying to like bulk up like a guy and gets really muscly and everything. Is it not okay for him to then be like, hey, this isn't what I signed up for.
No,
Like,
it's not, because you signed on and you must stick with that forever. And look, we're not going on this rant to say, hey, look, if you're a guy and you feel like you're a woman and shit, we ain't saying don't do your own thing. Do you, dog? Live your life. Live
but your
your
partner
life.
doesn't have to stay
Right.
connected in that.
Right. They don't have to. And on the converse thing, someone who loves you for a premise that is based out of lust and attraction and all that stuff, like a family member going, not loving you for doing that. That's fucked. All right, because there's not an attraction side. Hopefully there's not an attraction side. There's not a lustful side to that. The relationship dynamic in a family is, what's the word? I guess it's, I don't know words right now, but it's just personality based, I mean, technically people would be like, well, yeah, blood's thicker than water. It's not thicker than water. Are they a good person? Cool. That's a good family member. Are they a shitty person? That's a bad family member.
Yeah, I figured this one was going to be a good one for the socials, though, because the people are going to be, hard.
God said don't dress like a woman. He said it. It's like, dog, shut up.
Well, I mean, everybody wore tunics or whatever before. Like, I mean, it's just a big dress thing. Everybody wore that. So.
Right.
All right. We're moving beyond the controversial comments onto the next story.
Right.
That
That one also get a lot of comments for the podcast.
What's that?
That story.
Yeah. All right. So, am I the asshole for getting divorced as soon as my last kid was out of the house?
I don't think you're an asshole just based off of title alone, but you did a disservice to yourself and to your children by staying. If it's a loveless marriage or he cheated or something like that, then you're teaching your children that you have to stick with, you have to settle. And even if the situation is not ideal or downright bad, that's what you do because of love or because of children or family or whatever. It sets a bad example. I guarantee you, divorce is hard, but seeing happy parents is a lot better. Will overcome the divorce aspect.
I should have listened to my dad before I got married, but I was 18 and I knew everything. I was in love and I was going to be with her no matter what. We got married, we got jobs, we had 2 kids. My wife's family helped us with everything. My family was as supportive as they could be, but we sidelined them. We spent all our holidays with my wife's family. We spent all our holidays with my wife's family. Both kids' birthday parties were held at my in-laws, and my parents were invited as a courtesy. We both worked and raised the kids, but as time went on, there were 2 groups in our home. Her and the kids were one, then there was me. All of my choices were undetermined.
Undermined.
Yep. All of my choices were undermined. All of my wishes were dismissed. I could not even have privacy in my own bedroom by locking the door because it was stressed the kids to knock.
Wait, what?
I could not even have privacy in my own bedroom by locking the door because it was stressed the kids to knock.
Because it stressed the kids to knock, yeah.
Because it stressed the kids to knock.
It would stress them out knocking the door. What a crazy, crazy thing.
After 20 years, I was done. Last fall, my youngest went away for school. I filed for After 20 years, I was done. Last fall, my youngest went away for school. I filed for divorce that week. We didn't have assets besides our cars. I walked away with nothing to show for it besides 2 kids that never thought about my side if the family was important. My ex claims that I blindsided her and she didn't know I was unhappy. I asked her what about our constant ongoing arguments for the last 14 years made her think I was happy or satisfied with our marriage. I asked her what she thought it meant that I was constantly suggesting we get counseling, both for ourselves and her, for how she dedicated all her energy on the kids instead of us or herself. I said that when my dog died, I didn't get a new one because I knew that although I would be the one to care for them and pay all the bills, she would find a way to claim him during a divorce. That's wild take. What?
This is all over the place, yeah.
I didn't get a dog because you'd taken in the divorce.
Well, I mean, I get it. Like, they're arguing and stuff like that, and he wants to, he's like, oh, we should get counseling, and we should do couples counseling and all this stuff. And she's just like, nah, we don't need to do any of that. All this is happy. I get that, and she's not willing to work on the relationship. but then nothing to show for it besides 2 kids that never thought about my side of the family as important. What are you throwing your fucking kids? They're kids.
Well, and you should be building that relationship with them. Like your kids should value you, but it's not just they should value you. You should make them like you should do the things that make them value you as one of the parents. Like, and it's not just like giving kids things and spoiling them and letting them get away with everything. Like, you can build that relationship and still be the parent that you want to be, because like kids do like responsibilities and they do like the authority figure. So like I don't understand why you're saying that your kids don't value you. Like that seems wild that you haven't
value
invested.
his side of the family. I mean, they don't. He said they don't value him.
But still, take your kids over to grandma's house and go spend time with them. Like you can choose that yourself. Like it's not just like I can't cut my wife's family out of the picture.
Right.
Like it's not. For one thing, if she tried to cut my family out of the picture, I would just simply take my kids to go spend time with my family. I would invite my family over to spend time. Like there wouldn't be a way. And then that would be the fight that we're having is like, no. Like my family is important too. I want them to know their grandparents on this side. I want them to know any aunts or uncles, their cousins over here. Like if you value that, make it known that you value it and spend that time. But your kids are grown now and you didn't have that fight at like 2 or 3. You waited till 18 to just be like, I'm
But at
out.
the same time, too, if you got a spouse who is completely stopping that, you still don't blame the kids.
No.
Like, you don't blame. If you have a spouse that is just her, she has malevolent intentions on how she's going to turn the kids against you and shit, like, I'm not going to blame my kids.
No.
I'm going to blame the person that's manipulating my kids.
So I'm 41 and starting over. It took me no time to find a better job. The only thing keeping me in my old one was that I was home every night. Now I'm working in a different city doing night shift and making more money than I ever did before. I have a rescue dog I got the week I left. I'm walking him more and have met new friends in my neighborhood and at the dog park. It sounds like you just didn't want a family.
Yeah.
Like you just checked out of your family and you're just like, once they're off at college, I'm starting my life over.
I'm a new person. I don't even have kids or a wife.
My ex's family, her, and our kids think I'm the asshole for not communicating that I was unhappy and just leaving. 'Cause you are.
Right. Did you leave the kids too? Like,
Yes,
what
he
the
did.
fuck,
He moved
dude?
cities and like completely uprooted his life. I think it's somebody that decided to have a family, got into it, and was like, "Oh, I fucked up. Didn't want this. My bad."
Right. And just, I'm sorry. If you're a good dad, your kids will gravitate towards you. I'm sorry. And there's no thing that your wife could call or say or do that's going to make your children not love you. You're dad. Like, I'm sorry. That's just, yeah.
Well, if you invest in them, the time and the effort and the energy, and you show them genuine love and care, like you're totally a great person in their life. If you checked out and you were just the paycheck, you were the guy that made sure everything was going, then yeah, you're not a dad. You're just
Walked in every day just like, oh, everything's here. I wanted burgers tonight, but they're having tacos. Everybody's against me. And I mean, I get it. Like, if you suggested counseling and she didn't want to do it for all these years, fine. But it really seems like, I don't know, you had no I mean, reading between the lines, you're not communicative with your kids. I just don't think that you were really communicative to your wife either. So
I wonder what Reddit's gonna have to say about it.
no, not the asshole. You deserve better and to live your own life and fuck your kids.
You should get a divorce. Oh wait, that's what the whole thing was about. I talked to her constantly about everything that was bothering me, the kids being allowed to come into the bedroom without knocking.
Yeah, I want my kids to feel safe in my house. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like the parents' door is normally open. If you guys are, for whatever reason, a knock, like it's a respectful thing. Like it's I don't think that's out of line for teaching the kids to knock on the parents' door when it's closed.
Right.
Like that's not a problem.
I mean, privacy is a great thing, and I bestow that privacy to my kids. Like, I'm not just going to open my daughter's door and walk in there. I'm going to knock. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a comfort thing too, but I don't know. To each their own with that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem to teach the kids to knock. Like, and I'm sorry, but when they're teenagers, they shouldn't be so scared that they need to just bust in the door. Like, at that point, they should learn the same respect that they're going to need when they go to somebody else's house, when they're living with roommates or anything like that. You don't just bust in somebody's
I like that
door.
kind of set them up for, future endeavors.
But like that, yeah, I think at that point, when they're small children, they shouldn't have to knock. Like a 3-year-old that's scared of something in the night shouldn't have to knock. And then, when they're 5 and they still sleep in bed with you and
Right.
they don't even have to knock. They just kick you in the head and tell you to go sleep in the other room. All right. The kids being allowed to come into the bedroom without knocking. Her unwillingness to eat when I cooked my cultural food and letting the kids not eat it too. How I had to attend events with my family alone because she didn't want to come or let the kids come. Plus a million other things. Okay, in that little tiny bit, your wife is kind of an asshole for some of those things.
Right.
Yeah, because as a partnership, it shouldn't be completely one-sided. Like both partners should be willing to make some concessions to participate in the other partner's
Absolutely.
life and like their family and all that stuff.
And it's something, if you don't want to eat the food, sure. But then not letting the kids eat it, that's stupid.
And yeah, not like at least them trying it is one thing, and you shouldn't force them to have to eat it either. But like it should be, if that is the cultural thing. And like honestly, the mom should just play along to allow the kids to try it without a jaded sense. Like if it sounds like she's being a stick in the mud for that part.
Absolutely.
So I've started dating. She's amazing. Shelly is a teacher, never been married, 32. We aren't at the meeting family stage yet, but I've met a lot of her friends, and I will be attending Easter at her house where she is hosting for everyone who isn't going home. This is another problem because I have moved on so quickly. It's really not. I had been checked out of our marriage for years.
Can't check out being a father, though.
Did you let your wife and kids know that you were
Right.
checked out for years? She is having a tougher time. She is not in the right place to date, and her priorities are the kids, the adult kids who do not live at home. I've seen a few posts lately that make me want to ask. I know how I feel. I know how she feels. I'm mostly estranged from my family, so I don't count their opinions. And the kids and her family have been clear about me abandoning her after all this time. Am I the asshole for leaving as soon as I could after our youngest left?
You're not the asshole for leaving. You're the asshole for obviously checking out as a parent. And then just assuming that once your kids are out of the house, that's it. They're fucking not my kids anymore. You just seem like that type of dude. Like you just seem like I don't know. This reeks of
Self-centeredness?
autism. yeah. Self-centeredness and autism.
No empathy for
Yeah,
the
just
other
not
people?
being able to grasp social cues and stuff like that. And
So he says that somebody said, "What are you going to do to repair the relationship with your parents?" For one thing, why is it that estranged? Like you should be talking to your parents. Your wife can't keep you from talking to your parents. So like, why is that a thing? But it says, the person says, "My mom passed a long time ago. I'm talking to my dad and stepmom all the time now. It's getting better." It seems weird that you would like throw away. So initially you threw away your family to be with this chick, and then now you're throwing away them to go back to.
right.
Oh, so the most controversial comment is, "This post is completely fake."
That's every controversial comment.
Yeah, and like there's so many different stories out there that this could 100% be real, and somebody being that much of a.
I love how he also can't understand how his kids are upset that they're getting a divorce. Like, oh, they're adult. You're adult. You should understand. You should understand. I never loved your mother. God, she was a bitch. That's their mom still, you know? Even kids will look at the most abusive parents as fucking superheroes. So,
Well, when he checked out, he should have just been like, "Hey, I think I'm done with this relationship. I'm willing to stick it out for when the kids go off to college or whatever." Like, I mean, that could have been a conversation that was had years before, and then she might have said, like, "Hey, let's do therapy." But she is just thinking, like, right or wrong, she's just thinking, like, "Oh, he just wants to, like, we're fine. We'll make it through. We're good."
I love
But,
the
like,
little mom's or the little quip about the wife. She's having a hard time. Her main concern are the kids. Yeah, yeah. That's a parent right there. I just think it boils down to communication. I mean, you're not an asshole for leaving your wife if what you said and that is true, but I think you are an asshole for just being so Neanderthal brain that you can't have a conversation with anybody.
Well, yeah, because those are all things that could have been fixed if you actually put your foot down and had the conversation. But like, if you aren't communicating, like, hey, this is a deal breaker. I want to, I want our kids to understand my culture and the food and all this stuff. And you're like roadblocking me and like kicking me in the dick every time I try to introduce them to this stuff. Like, I need you to stop that. Otherwise, like, this isn't going to work out.
Right.
But like, if you're never making it that apparent that these are big issues and that you most likely are going to leave at some point in the future, she has little to no clue that that's the outcome that's about to hit her in the face. So
Wild. We'll probably get some flack on that one.
why?
Just because we didn't agree with what Reddit said.
What? Well, like, I mean, what was ours different than theirs?
Like, they were like, oh, man, not the asshole. She didn't value you. They didn't say nothing about the kids or nothing like that. I mean, some of the controversial did, but they were all downvoted to fucking oblivion. So I was just like, wow, that's wild.
I don't understand. Once you have kids, like, the selfishness should go away. Any selfishness you have should be directed towards, like, how you can do better for them. That's the selfish nature. Like, I mean, you still exist as a human. You're still you. But, like, really, your job now is 100% to make sure they become decent adults. That's the whole goal.
How much of a puss are you, too, to be like, hey, I'm going to go visit my family. I'm taking my kids with me. And she's like, no, you're not. Yes, the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that one time in the relationship. Couldn't be like, hey, like, either we go to couples therapy or I'm leaving.
Yes. That's the way to
Like
do
yours. You know, I'm checking out when the kids are done, or I'm,
You
I'm
tell
checking
her,
out now,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm gonna divorce you when the kids leave the house. Like, I guarantee you, actions would have been made.
it. And the fact that your kids don't give a shit is wild. Like, it speaks volumes to your character at that point.
Right. Am I the asshole? Husband cut off my son's hair, so I used his card to buy my son the designer jacket he's been wanting.
I mean, it's family money, so it's your money too.
Right. I don't ever get that, because people would be like, well, you know, this is the husband's money. This is the wife. This is my family's money. That's it. This is my family's money. I think that also helps you not overspend too. Like, if you were going to get something and you're like, this is the family's money that I'm using to buy this. This is the way I look at it, so I spend less.
But in our situation, it does not hinder that.
My son is 17 and pretty much all his life has had long hair. He had long, thick, and very maintained black hair that went just past his chest, and he loved it. My husband, his stepdad, nope.
Not his dad.
Yep. And
why are
also,
you cutting off his
if
hair?
that's my son, you can't your ass drug, son. Has never been a fan of it and always thought it was girly. He's never been mean or cruel about it to my son's face, but he said to me that he thinks he should cut it off. The two of them got into a huge fight because my son has been skipping classes, and my husband decided that to punish him, he was going to cut his hair.
No, that doesn't fucking happen.
That's not a punishment. That's
No.
not a punishment. Public humiliation is not a punishment. It is not.
Well, and that's the thing is there's no such thing. There should never be punishments. There should be consequences to your actions. But cutting your hair off has no bearing on skipping classes and shit like that. Those two do not equal
It'll make
each
them more
other at all.
aerodynamic so you can get there quicker.
Get fast. But yeah, like, I mean, a consequence should have some sort of parallel to what is being, like, trying to correct the behavior. Like, if he's skipping classes, find what actually makes sense to, like, are you playing video games? Are you hanging out with your friends? Are you doing all this stuff? Well, that stuff is interacting with you doing your responsibilities. So if you want to continue to have fun and do those things, you now have to go to class. Oh,
Right.
You're missing class? Well, then you also miss out on these fun things too. Sorry, bud. But cutting off someone's hair, that is just ludicrous.
Child abuse. I'm going to call it child abuse.
Yeah, that is 100% child abuse.
I don't know how it went down, but when I came home, my son was crying and cutting his own hair in the mirror. I asked him what was wrong and what he was doing, and he told me that my husband had randomly cut his hair short in spots, and now he had to cut it really short to even it out and make it look okay. I went and spoke to my husband to find out the specifics of what happened from his side as well, and it ended up in yelling because while I don't agree with my son skipping classes, I felt like cutting his hair over it was cruel and horrible when this could have been resolved another way. To cheer my son up, I bought him this Affliction leather jacket that he's wanted for a while out of my husband's money. My husband...
Does that still exist?
I
Affliction?
guess. I guess it's like he's punching holes in the drywall and
Drinking all these monsters.
yeah, he's like, you want to tap out, bro? I'll tap you out. Usually he like lays on his back anytime there's a threatening situation. He's like, get in my guard, bro. My husband found that out and was furious, but I told him he shouldn't have cut my son's hair, and he can do this as an apology. It's going to take years for my son's hair to grow back, but my husband can make that money back quickly. Am I the asshole? Yes, for staying with this man.
For that, and like once again, it's the like you buying the fucking jacket does not repair the situation. Like it's a bunch of kids involved in this. It's a teenage boy, a fucking not grown up man, and then a not grown up woman doing a bunch of shit. Because like none of this actually plays out to being a good way to handle any of these scenarios. Like you're not necessarily the asshole, but yes, you are the asshole for A, staying with him, and then buying him that jacket does not bring his hair back.
One of the controversial comments says tit for tat is not a good strategy. No one's titting or tatting. They're not comparable situations.
Well, I mean, it is tit for tat. Like he cut off the hair, so she went and bought the thing. That is exactly what tit for tat is.
Right. I mean, that is, yeah, okay. So,
and it's not a good way to handle
eye
the
for an eye
situation.
is definitely not a good way. But tit for tat, it's like if someone does a bad thing, so you do an equal bad thing. One is child abuse. One is buying a jacket, an expensive jacket.
Yeah, but like
I get it. It's eye for eye. But yeah, that is not a good strategy. Should have left him, especially like if you're giving my son hell. Like if me and Amy got divorced and I got with a woman, she was like, "Why is your son's hair so long?" I'm like, "What the fuck does it matter?"
because he wants to. That's
Yeah,
his
'cause he
body.
wants to.
That's his. That's like the one thing in this world that is his 100%. Nobody
that he
can-
has control over,
Yes.
and fucking nobody can take that away from him. And then you're trying to fucking put rules and regulations on that shit. Get the fuck out. And conversely, if Amy married somebody and they cut my son's hair and he didn't want his hair cut, then I don't know.
Then you're gonna tit for tat.
I'm gonna lose
that
money
ass.
because of yeah, fuck yeah. I whoop the shit out of them. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her.
Yeah, I think everybody in here is fucked at differing levels. Like just because one's fucked doesn't mean the other ones aren't fucked. Like the kid A shouldn't have been skipping class, and B, the mom should have been fucking figuring out how to handle that. That's not really like I don't step back from parenting, but ultimately I am not first place for dictating what my stepdaughter does. Like that is a me and her mom and her dad's conversation. It's not just a me, I get to decide everything. And so the fact that she's with this guy and she just kind of let this happen. I know she wasn't there and physically let him cut the hair. However, she knows who this guy is. And
Right.
so I doubt this was the first sign of troublesome behavior.
And that was the shit talking about the hair. That was the first troublesome sign. I like this little interaction right here. It says, "You're the asshole. This is abuse. You were not protecting your son. You weren't home when it happened, but you did nothing beforehand to prevent it." Someone needs to know, if you do something, don't do it. Have you even discussed punishment? Is he permitted, or that he's permitted to do? Is he normally the one who punishes? Were you doing anything to figure out why your son was skipping classes? You sound so clueless. You neglected to protect your son from your husband, who has made it clear beforehand what he thinks, and now he has acted. You don't even punish him. You do retail therapy. That shows how much your son's feelings are worth to you. That is so gross. I wouldn't blame him if he dropped you from his life the moment he moves out, especially if you're still with this asshole husband. Look into how this is abuse and illegal to do to someone. Get a clue that your husband is likely going to retaliate now and become worse towards you or both, and now becomes worse towards the both of you. If you don't remove the abuser from the household, you'll be just as bad. And then someone commented, "The retail therapy got me. Sure, you were physically assaulted, but here's a pretty new thing to help you get over it." How many times have abused spouses heard that one? OP, you're the asshole if you stay with this man and don't protect your son. He has already physically assaulted him once that you know of. There will be a second time if you stay in this relationship. This is not healthy behavior, and I doubt he is going to change.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is your reaction to this. Like you can show up for your kid and say, "Hey, 100%, this is not cool. Like we're not playing this game," and go ahead and exit the relationship. Or you can stay with him and buy him a fucking stupid jacket and be like, "Well, you got the cool jacket." No, like not equal.
Right. The number one thing I cannot stand is when parents are like, the kid's fucking up or something like that. So they're like, we're going to record this and post it on social media, whatever punishment we're doing. All right, well, when that child turns into a serial killer. I mean, obviously, here's the thing too. Like, if we are into the teenage years and the kid's fucking up very bad, that's a reflection of you, dog, and the work you've put in. You know what I'm saying? There's all sorts of help and steps you can get. Sure, maybe there's some form of nature that I've not come across where.
Well, I mean, there's also the friends that they hang out with. Like, so yes, you are responsible, but it is the perfect time in their life to then value their friends more than you. So even if you've done the best job you fucking can, they can get in the wrong circle of friends, and whether they see them outside of school or not, that is their circle, and they trust them and they believe in them and they think they know best, and so
Right.
they go down a bad path. Like, so it's not 100% like you can raise a great kid and then they get hooked up with the wrong group of friends and they go down a dark path.
And I think that's
anyways.
just being more involved too with your kid and knowing who they're hanging around and stuff like that, and being, educating them on why this person is a bad person. I don't think, I get there is that rebellious side, but I think there is a lot that, and it's not attacking the child either. It's, warning them. It's like, hey, I don't want you to get into like a dumb situation. And you can name off the dumb situations where it's drugs, vandalize something, blah, 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 blah. Don't necessarily say, hey, don't hang out with these kids. Just warn them about the things that could happen, and then let that kid see that shit play out in real life, because then they're going to be like, fucking dad warned me about this shit,
Yeah.
So, but then get into their teenage years some did it with kids where they just shave their head on this is what happens when you are bad at school, and then people are in the comments saying, the real parenting's back now. Now we got this is real parenting right here. That's not real parenting.
No.
That's not real parenting. That is some wacky shit. And one person did it, and then everybody else was like, I'm gonna do that so I can get some views and some shares. I can't wait till this kid fucks up in school so I can shave his head and get me a bunch of likes.
Yeah, because it's wild. Because really, you should be trying to be the best parent you can. That should be the goal. Like, you should not be trying to make your kid obey. It should be that is the kid okay? Are they going to be a fucking decent human? And punishing them with haircuts or fucking spanking and beating and all this, like, verbally abusing, all
Right.
that stuff. None of that equals the kid they might obey, but they're not going to be like, A, they're probably not going to trust you anymore. B, they're probably not going to like you anymore. And so then you become less of an authority figure in their eyes. You're just the man, the government. You're the person that they don't want to fucking be around.
Why have my kids not come to visit me while I'm dying in this hospital bed?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so crazy too. Like, people defend spanking so much, but it's so cool when one of my kids fuck up or do something wrong, and I'm able to talk to them and tell them why that was wrong.
Well, and they tell you first. Like, they come to you and they say, hey, Dad, I did this stupid fucking thing. All right, that's cool. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out together. Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing, because whether it's, my daughter talking in school or my son, I told you about the stuff my son did, and then having that conversation and then watching it end. And it's like, I didn't have to hit him or nothing. I just was like, hey.
It would have been way quicker if you just hit them, though.
Yeah, right. They'd have just been like, fuck, I got punched and now I'm so angry. But whatever.
Yeah, no, it's the wild thing. Because, like, in this, like, the skipping class does not equal haircut. Nothing equals haircut. Like, if you want to talk to him and be like, hey, man, you ever tried a new haircut? Not that the hair should matter anyways. Like, who the fuck cares? But,
especially it being well maintained. I ain't gonna say nothing. Bro out here looking like Jon Snow.
and probably crushing it with the ladies if he's into them.
Fuck yeah.
If it's a well done long hair, he's probably way more of a ladies' man than Stepdad is.
Like, if I have a step kid and he has long hair and it just absolutely does not suit him.
Stepdad was balding since he was like 20. He's just got a vendetta against long hair, luscious locks. That's it.
No, I hated when my kids got haircuts. I never wanted them to get haircuts. And now I look at their pictures of long hair and I'm just like, y'all had it. Y'all had the dream. That was the dream. Y'all had it and y'all just let it slip away. But, like, if I'm a stepdad and my stepkid he's got long hair, it's not well maintained. It's a detriment to how he looks, and maybe he's having problems in the life with the ladies and stuff like that. But that's when you have the conversations and stuff like that. You look at haircuts with him and shit, and then you talk to him. And ultimately, if he doesn't want to do it, you don't do it. That's what he's comfortable with.
Yeah. That was such a wild.
But yeah, mom's definitely the asshole for staying with that guy. Like,
Yes.
I bought him another. He got abused, so I bought him a jacket and said, "Keep your mouth shut. Don't tell anybody."
Well, and then in that, like, it does become a weird thing of like, do you guys have family money, or did you literally, are your guys' finances separate and you just fucking ganked his credit card and be like, that's for the haircut?
This ain't gonna blow back on my son. Yeah, yes, it will. If he's already taken something out on your kid one time, he's gonna do it again.
Now he's going to shave your head tonight.
People are goofy.
All right, so I'm going to go with this one. It's am I the asshole for leaving my best friend's birthday party early because I was a B-list guest? Well, it doesn't sound like you're a best friend if you're a B-list guest.
Right. Like what? I think you are misjudging the
Friendship here.
Yeah, I think you're misjudging the friendship here.
All right, throwaway for privacy, though this is a pretty specific incident.
I'm in this situation right now because I'll be like, Dylan, my best friend. I see him every day. He's like a brother to me, all that stuff. And then Dylan will be like, yeah, you're like hovering around like the, end of the top 10. Oh, but that's fucked. That's fucked.
Well, you're scared of certain things, and so a lot of the things that I go do aren't necessarily mic-friendly events.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that prevents tier 1 friend right here, and I'm like tier 3 at best. Just read the story. I'm hurt now.
I don't even know what tiers are, so other than your tiers.
You just make them
falling
up
on
as you
your
go.
face. All right, so am I the asshole for leaving my best friend's birthday party early because I was a B-list guest? Throwaway for privacy, though this is a pretty specific incident, and anyone who knows the situation will probably be able to identify me anyways. I, 29 female, have been good friends with Sally, 30 female, since we were 8 years old. We were inseparable throughout school, but we went to different colleges. I visited her a few times each year. She'd visit me, and we'd always meet up at Christmas and summer breaks. After we graduated, I moved about a 3-hour drive from where she moved to. We still caught up often, though. As normally happens, we established our new professional and social lives, drifted apart, but whenever we caught up, it was like no time had passed. We were there for each other whenever we needed it. When she got married at 25, I was a bridesmaid. I declined maid of honor because I was concerned with the long commute. I couldn't do all the maid of honor duties. I said duty.
You said duties first. What was the one from the last one?
Physical and mentical.
Yeah, that's so good. It's the mentical duties that you got to do that really breaks down a man.
All right, so I was concerned with the long commute. I couldn't do all the maid of honor duties required and expected. Well, see, you just kind of let down your friend there.
And also, y'all are 18. Y'all aren't even people yet.
Well, no, they're 29.
No, they said like they were friends from 8 until 18. But then during like some of the most formative years, college and all that stuff and becoming an adult, they weren't around each other.
Yeah. All right, she drove to my place to support me when my father had a stroke. I stayed with her when she found out her ex-husband cheated and she filed for divorce. I always figured that even though life is taking us in different directions, we were always there for each other.
Now, Kith.
Now to her birthday. She turned 30 last week and had a huge party this past weekend. Since it was a milestone birthday, she had it at a banquet hall, all catered, DJ, etc. Damn, she is bougie.
Fuck yeah.
It was at night. Did I tell you how I spent my 30th birthday party?
Oh.
I was breaking up with the girl that I was dating, and she took me to a tiny home to see if we could work it out. It was the single little tiny home up in the mountains, and I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to be with my friends partying. But
right.
We're here because we're going to work this out. And I was like, we're not.
I think the funniest thing was you was like, I was breaking up with a girl. I'm like, you're married, dude. And I forget. I'm like, woof.
Met my wife when I was 30, right after I had
I forget you're so old. So old and cold and very full of mold. You just wear it a lot. You wear life a lot better than I do.
It's all the woosah that I've got in my body. All right. So big bougie party, DJ catered, blah, blah, blah. It was at night, so I booked a hotel, drove up, and would drive back home the next day. When I arrived, I was ushered into a small room with 4 tables and about 10 other people. There was a portable TV on a trolley with a stream of the party in the bigger room.
Ain't no way. This is The Office. This happened on The Office.
One of the guests told me Sally invited more than the main hall could accommodate, and she hoped after a few people RSVP'd no, we'd all fit in, but only one or two RSVP'd no, so the venue opened a second room for the excess guests. I saw in the stream new people arriving after I did, so I knew I was clearly regulated to the B-lister room and wasn't brought there because the main room was already filled up. So I left after 15 minutes and took my gift with me. The next day I was preparing to check out of the hotel. Sally called and asked why I didn't show.
I think we're finding out the problem here. Her friend did not know that she was there. She didn't know she was there.
Apparently, she came to the leftovers room to mingle about 30 minutes after I left and noticed I wasn't there. I told her I did attend, but I didn't realize I'd be watching a stream of her party instead of attending it, which I could have done at home. She asked if I wanted to catch up for lunch, and I can give her my gift then.
Okay, maybe friend's a dick.
But I told her I needed to get back home because I had plans for the afternoon. Cue the Instagram story about how people who claim to love her don't show up, and she can't help that so many people wanted to celebrate her. During my drive home, her mother left a voicemail that she was very disappointed in me. But I'm here like, I'm supposed to be one of your best friends, and I got the leftover experience. Did I overreact? Am I the asshole here?
No, you're. Wow.
If I drove hours and I had to stay in a hotel and I ended up in that, like, for one thing, I'm calling bitch right then. I'm like, hey, no, what? Like, I'm in this other room. I'm supposed to be in the main room, right? I'm supposed to be in there,
right?
Like, let me in. Oh no, I'm supposed to be in this guest room. Okay, all right. No. Yeah, no, I'll see you later. Yeah, we'll catch up. I'll be here waiting for you.
Ask if I'm supposed to be in the main room.
I want to go too.
Yeah, you didn't ask.
But yeah, no, I would be in the moment trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then yes, if I was delegated to the B room, I would dip out too.
And then she's like, because at first I thought, oh, she didn't even know she was there, so she couldn't have got to them. I thought that's where the story was going. But she was like, nah, you were supposed to be there. Also, can we meet up so you can give me my gift?
Yeah, I want that gift, bitch.
That's fucked.
That's the thing with like weddings, and I know your wedding was not a stereotypical wedding, but when we did our wedding, we kept the guest list like super small, and I didn't want anybody to be offended for not being invited, but like we're not having a big wedding, so I can't invite, aunts and cousins and friends of friends and friends that I knew in high school and friends that I knew in college. Like I just literally the people that were part of my life right then in that moment, those were the people that got the invites.
Right.
That was it. And if they were close by, like I think the furthest travel was my buddy from New York came down, but he was already going to be down that weekend for going to the beach in North Carolina. And he came down and from the beach in North Carolina, drove up like 3.5 hours and then cooked for us and then literally hopped back in the car and went back down to the beach.
I'm trying to, because a ton of people are like, sounds fake to me, but I'm trying to find an office reference. Just give me one office reference.
This one's perfect though. You're the asshole. You should have just went to the main room anyway. Nobody puts OP in the corner.
I thought that was great. And how did it get downvoted? Like someone's just like, I hate when people are being funny. I hate when people are being funny. And I mean, look, this could be The Office or this could be rich girl problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, where the fuck is The Office? Ain't no way all these people commented. No
I love this one though. This one, it's a downvoted one. It says fake because no one has a job anymore, nor can they afford a catered hotel party with DJ in an overflow room. Satire or sarcastic.
My favorite is there's so many people saying you overreacted. Petty small woman. What is happening? Is the male loneliness epidemic entered the Reddit? I don't know. You're the asshole. You left without know how the party was going to flow. She reached out after, which showed she missed you and wanted to see you. She was obviously hurt enough that she shared with her mom, and even her mom reached out.
But if they tell you they've got a capacity of like say 100 people, are you really gonna invite like 150 people? Are you that type of person where you think that many people are gonna bail on you?
Well, I mean, she worded it as they're celebrating me, so I don't know. Once you say your birthday is a celebration of you, I don't know. People they get way too into the whole birthday thing. I don't know what I was doing on my 30th birthday.
On my 30th birthday, I wanted to just meet up with my friends like we did all throughout our 20s and before we had wives and kids and all that stuff. And I was just like, we'll just get up and, drink some beer and play some cards, drinking games, whatever. But that did not happen.
Someone said nobody thinks about the husband that had to divorce this bitch. Like, no wonder they got divorced. Oh, just so in the office, Michael is invited to a party in New York City. They're celebrating the launch of a website. So he's like talking shit to everybody. He was like, I don't give a fuck what y'all do. I'm going to this party. It's going to be awesome. So they look at the invite and it's a website, and he goes on it and it's just a live stream of the party. So now he's all pissed off. He's like, we're going to make our party way better. And it's always us. And it's so fucking funny. If you watch The Office, listener, start at season 2. Do not watch season 1. Complete garbage. Unwatchable. Everybody's a villain. You'll just be mad the whole time. Because I tried to get into The Office with Amy, and I couldn't do it. I was like, this is the worst show I've ever fucking laid eyes on. And then season 2 happened, and she'd be watching it, and I'd be watching it, and then it turned into my favorite show of all time. So if you ever want to know what Michael's favorite show of all time is, it is The Office.
It's Stranger Things final season.
Love it. Love it. I love to. I've actually thought about something. And it's what you said, I am more willing, or I'm more capable of letting a bad show be all right if I can binge it all right there. If I have to wait and build up expectations, think of the last 3 shows I have waited and built up expectations for. I classified them as shit. But then I'm rewatching Game of Thrones, and I'm like, season 7 ain't as bad, I didn't watch season 8. I just stopped there because, the Battle of Winterfell ends in a shitty way, but also you can't see the entire time.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of long-ass action scenes. But, yeah, I guarantee if I just went and just binged season 5 of Stranger Things, I'd be like, it's all right.
Yeah, I think, and we were talking about this literally right before we started, like, the first season that makes you fall in love, it's kind of like when you find a band that you like really like, and especially if they're like a new coming band and you listen to that first album and it's just like you fall in love with that sound and everything. The next album you'll show up for just because you're like, I like this band. And it might not be everything that you thought it would be, but like as it goes on, you start to fall out of love because it's not that initial like dopamine hit that you got from hearing this brand new band, and you're like, because like that's what happened with Stranger Things.
They
Everybody
talked so
fell
much
in
shit
love.
about season 2, 3, and 4, and I enjoyed it. And I think I didn't enjoy season 4 as much. Season 2 and 3 released all at once, and I didn't enjoy season 4 as much. And I mean, theoretically, if you think of the quality and the character building and the same formula that they work on it, they bring in a new character. That character's the pig for the slaughter, that they're absolutely going to die. It was this, but I didn't care as much because I didn't have as much time invested in it.
But see, and that's one of the problems, though, is that they do become formulaic. Like, they have to have that one character that you're going to fall in love with, and then they're going to be like, done.
But imagine when Eddie Munson died, okay? And instead of saying, hey, we're going to bring in this character, you want to keep things fresh and kind of, crazy and stuff like that. Imagine Dustin out there fighting all them bats to save everybody, and he dies from it. That's so much more weight. Also, they did nothing with the main cast. You had people that you could have just, and it sucks. And I'm not a big proponent of, main characters got to die. People like to say that, Game of Thrones did it, but Grey's Anatomy apparently was doing it way before Game of Thrones even thought of it. All right, so I'm going to get into the last story of the day, which is, am I the asshole for saying I don't give a fuck about my roommate's baby?
You don't say that about the baby.
Yeah, you don't say that about the baby. I don't give a fuck about my roommate's baby. Before I get into this story, I want to remind you guys, if you are listening to this and you're not following along, please follow the podcast. Helps out a lot. Give us a rate and maybe comment down what you thought. Helps out a lot. Tell a friend about the podcast. And if you want bonus episodes, you can go to patreon.com/Mike and Dylan to get bonus episodes of Mike and Dylan Hate Drama and 2 Daddies Judging Baddies. 2 for the price of 1. Am I the asshole for saying I don't give a fuck about my roommate's baby? I'm 27 female and have a roommate, 25 female. Originally, it was me and my roommate, but she got pregnant by her boyfriend, causing her boyfriend to move in. At first, It wasn't a big deal. He wasn't loud, and my roommates really didn't bother me. But as the months passed and she got more pregnant, she started becoming more entitled and rude. For example, she would constantly steal my food. When I tried to confront her, she would play the pregnancy craving card. But the day that finally made me snap was the day I brought home a small personal pumpkin pie.
Don't touch my fucking pie.
This is a big one right in this one, boy. I wrote my name on the box and put it in the fridge.
It's just a small one, like a 12-inch pumpkin pie. Just
Personal
size.
Yes, personal size, 18 inches around.
3 inches
One person
thick.
can eat it in one sitting while crying that they're eating so much. I wrote my name on the box and put it in the fridge. Later, when I went to get some, she was literally standing there eating my pie. Honestly, I wouldn't have cared if she only took a slice, but this bitch was literally eating the whole thing. And fed up with her always eating my food, I got mad and I yelled at her. I asked her why she was eating my pumpkin pie, knowing it wasn't for her. She started crying and said she's pregnant and she can't help that the baby was craving pumpkin pie. It's like I open the fridge, I am craving that.
Well, then that baby can drive her ass to the store and get her own fucking pumpkin pie.
Right. Look, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I am not craving string cheeses. I am not saying, I want to go in there and eat some tubular shaped cheese that peels apart. Never that. Will I eat 10 sticks because it's there? Yeah, sure. I see it and my brain's like, hey, we could eat that. But it's not craving. In a fit of rage, I yelled at her and said, I don't give one fuck about your dumbass baby. That is verbatim. She gasped dramatically, like I said something world-shattering, and she ran off to tell her boyfriend what I said. Later, he called me a bitch for yelling at a pregnant woman who can't control her cravings. So, am I the asshole for saying I don't give a motherfucking damn about my roommate's baby? I'm immediately going to controversial, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's like what we talk about, like with bad kids, is like, it's not necessarily the pregnant woman's fault, but you can't just use pregnancy as the excuse for just eating all of your fucking roommate's food all the time. Like,
Right.
if you're going to do that, be like, I ordered a pumpkin pie on DoorDash. It's coming. It'll be here in an hour. Like, but you can't just be like, well, I'm gonna eat all your fucking food and not replace any of it.
I think a big proponent of this is she never talked about how she talked to her, or maybe she did. Because she was talking about the craving. She's like, I'm sorry, I just crave the stuff. So maybe they've had conversations before.
Yeah,
I don't
eat
give
my
a
fucking
fuck
food.
about your baby, though. You're my roommate. I don't give a motherfucking damn.
I didn't
Stop
dump-
eating my shit, yeah.
I didn't dump my seed inside of you.
Right, yeah. I didn't do none of the work for that baby. I don't give a damn.
Go tell your good for nothing boyfriend to go get you a fucking pumpkin pie.
But he can't because he's broke. He ain't got no job. Now we got 2 babies in the house.
How'd you get fired on a Friday?
So I am going to be honest about this one, and shout out to Dylan. We have been very overworked. Dylan went into the Am I the Asshole thread and just grabbed the best ones of the month. But we gotta. I don't know. We're doing so fucking much all the time that we really got to curate Reddit for like the good juicy stories. Because besides that dress one, you know what I'm saying? I think Reddit's got all the people problems. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Like it's got, like everybody's been posting to it. Am I the asshole? So if you post in a cheating story, it's like it's the same setup. I didn't think they were cheating, but then I went through their phone and they were cheating. And now I'm thinking everybody's calling me an asshole because I left them. Which I mean, those are good, solid stories. But we did do I don't know. I don't give a motherfucking damn about your baby. That's the stuff we miss.
I think these are all great stories today.
We need a curator.
We do have one that helps us.
We do. She's amazing. But why don't you finish off the podcast with one of hers?
I can do that.
Look at that. Bam.
I don't know why you're all judgy on these stories that were
No,
delicious.
not judging you, and I fucking appreciate the fuck out of the work you do. But sometimes it just feels like, I don't know, there are good stories, but then people are going to be like fake. And that's the shitty thing to me is like now good stories, like good Reddit stories, get downvoted into oblivion because people will be like, this is AI schlop and it's fake. And it's like, no, people have weird experiences that's been going on since Reddit's existence. So now it's like the innocuous shit gets upvoted because it's like, okay, well maybe You know, AI didn't write this because there's no punctuation in it, and it's punkin' by. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so this is a 3-parter, but it's a goodie.
Do it.
My husband is spoiling.
Whoa. Dylan's having a stroke.
I was mixing spoiling and spicy together.
Spiceling.
My husband is spoiling the spicy scenes in my romance books by acting them out before I get to them. What the fuck?
Dedication though, because he's
reading
reading the books. Yeah.
But now he's ruining the story for her because
Yeah, you
he's
can't
doing
do
them
that. You can't
beforehand.
you can't do the Snape killed Dumbledore.
Spoiler alert.
You know what pissed me off? There was a news story, and it was about Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and people had got a hold of copies of it early, so they drove by the people who were waiting in line and yelled "Snape kills Dumbledore" to them. Okay. You know what I was thinking, laying on the futon bed in my friend's room? What the fuck? Snape kills Dumbledore? The fucking news spoiled it immediately for me. That's a dick move. Like, it'd be like they yelled out a big spoiler for the book. Don't say the spoiler. Do you not see how that's a thing? Because they're like, it's like breaking news.
Nobody had to tell you the news of it. You could have turned it off. You could have not looked at it.
I didn't think they were going to say the spoiler, but like the people driving by spoiled it for like 20 people standing in a line. The news just spoiled it for tens of thousands of people.
Solid.
I wasn't going to read the book anyways, but I mean, the movies were not far behind.
They were the ultimate troll. All right. So my husband is spoiling the spicy scenes in my romance books by acting them out before I get to them. I, 32 female, read a lot of romance novels, like 4 or 5 a month. Not the super smutty stuff, more the Emily Henry type books with the illustrated cartoon covers, enemies to lovers tropes, that kind of thing. About 2 months ago, my husband of 11 years, 38 male, started acting a little. Isn't it funny that you always start doing math in your head?
It is. I think it's even funnier though, because she's reading off the author. And here's the thing about books now, today, is that I don't know if George R.R. Martin started it, but I'm pretty sure the author that he's talking about, like, you know how his is like a Game of Thrones, a Song of Ice and Fire, shit like that. And now it's like a ballad of bows and arrows and a song of glee and sadness. Literally all books are named that. If someone was like, oh, what's your favorite book right now? I could just be like, I don't know. A Rock of Hard and Granite. And they'll be like, fuck, I've not read that one, but that sounds good and like a real book. They're all named that. Every time my wife's reading a book, it's a blank of blank and blanking.
I haven't seen any of them, so I think my wife got one at. She hosted a book Potter, so it's like it looks like a stack of books party with the bookstore here in town, and she came home with one of those spicy books, but I don't think she's read it. It's sitting on the back of the toilet.
Oh, they were making like a book whatnot, like a glass book thingy or a pottery book thingy that look like books sitting on top of each other.
That was the pot that they potted their plants in.
Oh, I thought they were making those pots. I thought it was like a pottery class.
She's a plant store. All surrounding pots.
Makes
Plants,
sense.
Plants and pots. All right. So my husband of 11 years, 38 male, started acting a little, different in the bedroom. Not bad different. Just occasionally there's this vibe like has something planned. We'll have what I can only describe as a, quote, themed night, and I'll think, quote, okay, that was fun and a little random, and then move on. Then a few days later, I'll be reading my book, hit a spicy scene, and actually have to put my Kindle down because it's the same scene, like the same vibe, the same moves, occasionally almost the same setup. It's already happened 4 times now. 4. I finally said something to my sister, and she immediately started crying, laughing, which was not helpful. She thinks he's reading ahead in my books and essentially performing the scenes on/with me before I get there as some kind of prank. But here's what I can't figure out. How's that a prank? That's not a prank.
That's a weird time to do the prank at.
Oh, got you with 3 orgasms.
What if you could do a prank with sex?
Gotcha. All right. But here's what I can't figure out. I read on my Kindle. He'd have to get into my account, figure out where I'm at in each book, read ahead, and then coordinate. He is a big tech numbers guy, so if he's doing this, I guarantee there's a spreadsheet involved somewhere. I'm honestly not even mad. Genuinely, if this is what's happening. It might be the most unhinged romantic gesture anyone has ever done for me, but he is technically spoiling the books. How do I tell him? Not only if you think that, you know, like, oh, this is how this story ends, is he unsheaths his, I don't know how these books
How are they
go.
themed nights though? Like I've heard a couple of the smut scenes in my wife's book, and they just like word sex differently. It's like I sheathed my cock, and he sheaths his cock inside of me. His lip slid against my clitoris. Like it's just normal sex stuff.
Do they read it like that too?
And it's so weird.
Does she does the audiobooks and the physical books both?
No, she just does audiobooks.
Oh, okay.
But here's the stupid part: is I don't know if it's the Emily lady, but she is one of the ones. But she'll read the audiobook, but then get the book collection.
Your wife does that?
Yeah,
So she listens to it, but then buys the book to
And-
just have?
yeah. I don't understand. I think it's kind of stupid, but whatever. It makes her happy, so I don't question it, and I don't bring it up. But if I did something that was like, you know, kind of dumb, but it's like, why do you do that? I don't know. Why do you listen to audiobook and buy books
That you don't read.
that you don't read? Yeah, that you've already heard.
How do I tell him to stop spoiling the plot without accidentally telling him to stop being the most high effort partner I've ever had? Relevant comments. Your husband is living in 3023 while the rest of us are still figuring out how to remember anniversaries. The spreadsheet thing has me absolutely dead. This man is out here project managing your romance novels like it's a quarterly business review. Maybe just ask him to mix in some original content between the book recreations so you get some surprises. OP says, the quarterly business review part got me. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a tab for Q1 KPIs or KPIs. Okay. I was thinking that it might be one of the romance novel terms that I didn't know.
Capiss.
Capiss. What's that move? And I'm a line item. 3023 is right, though. Meanwhile, I'm just out here trying to read my books. Someone else says, or have him look up her back catalog of stuff she's read a long time ago and use those rather than spoilering the stuff she hasn't read. I don't see how this spoils a book. You got some loving. You got some good.
How do you
dick.
remember the sex that y'all are having? That I was like, this is exactly from the book. Unless it's all just generic sex.
But this was in chapter 3 of this book. He said he sheathed his cock inside me.
Right. And now I will sheath my cock inside of you.
LOL, that's a bit sweet. That's like living the dream. For him to be involved in your hobbies and what books you read, maybe let him know gently. He really is. 11 years and he's still out here finding new ways to be surprising. I genuinely don't deserve him, and also he is ruining my goddamn books. I added the GD just for you God-fearing people.
It adds emotional depth.
Do you think he's doing it intentionally ruin a book? My first thought was maybe he wants you to read that scene after and think about the experience the two of you had and turn you on all over again. I honestly can't tell you how I would respond to this. Maybe like 2 to 3 scenes a book, but not every one, because I do think it's sweet, but I can totally understand where you're coming from. Probably takes the wind out of your imaginary sails in the reading moment.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to be imagining my husband in this scenario. I want to imagine Eithlock, the fucking, I don't know the names of any of these creatures.
He is the white dragon tamer. See,
Mm.
I'm a gold dragon tamer. There's only one gold dragon, or they've been extinct, but I found the one gold dragon egg, and he is a white dragon tamer. Those are the most vicious dragons, would signify someone's evil. Any woman listening right now is just like, this is exactly the book I'm reading. But the white dragon, they're more evil, so that would signify that he's an evil person. But after spending time with him, I can see that he's not actually evil. Now, our initial love interest, who is all good, kind of has these personality traits that make him not really a good person. So during this adventure to save whatever, I'm starting to fuck with this evil guy more, and now I want to fuck him.
So it's basically Twilight 1,000 times over.
No, Twilight, she meets Edward and she just sticks with him. This one, they're just like, and
she goes back with Jacob, and it's back and forth. It's the Jacob versus Edward thing.
You've never seen Twilight, have you?
I have. But there's that the whole thing is like she is in love with Edward, and then she starts like having feelings for Jacob, and Jacob protects her, and like it's the whole 2 guys going after the same girl type situation.
Maybe that was in the book. Yeah. He loved her, but she was always like, nah, I want cold vampire dick.
I'm pretty sure she had like some, like they didn't actually hook up or anything, but
Twilight
she's always-
Marathon?
Huh?
Twilight
I
Marathon?
do not want to watch
The
Twilight.
Twilight Marathon.
It's like one of the shittiest movies ever.
It is
especially when
dumb,
you
but
go
I
back
don't
and
know.
watch
I'll watch it.
I will not.
I'll watch it.
I had to go watch it in theaters because I was dating a girl that was interested in it while that was going on, and not for me.
I thoroughly enjoyed Hunger Games more than Twilight. The first Twilight movie I ever saw was the last one because I had just gotten with Amy, and I remember there was a scene where the real pasty guy gets he's like the matriarch of the family, but he gets or patriarch, I don't fucking know. He gets his head cut off, and my wife goes fucking ballistic. She's like, "What the fuck?" And I was just like, "Was that fucking? He died. I don't know what he's got to do with anything, but honestly, less impressive, because these motherfuckers taking out werewolves. So I don't know how them taking out a doctor is any cool."
All right, so OP says, definitely not trying to ruin anything. He's just a menace in the most loving way possible. For context, this man reads exclusively nonfiction, mostly history, thinks about the Roman Empire on a regular basis. The idea of him voluntarily reading Emily Henry is so preposterous, my sister is still laughing. All right, so this is an update after 2 days. I want to start by saying thank you for all the comments. I read them all. To clarify, I absolutely love my husband and am floored by his efforts on this. With that being said, I decided not to talk to him about it yet and to mess with him back instead. What I did instead was rush to finish my current book faster than usual, left my Kindle open to an earlier chapter I'd already read in case he went to check where I was up to, and then made the spicy scene from the book happen in real life last night. Initiated it and went all in. Oscar-worthy performance, honestly. Are they playing D&D with sex?
This is not the Emily I was thinking of because her books are like how to love and stuff like that. So these are different books. I don't fucking know what them books are.
They're not fantasy.
No. I feel like Emily
Creatures
wrote
and
the
stuff.
books that my wife likes, though.
If there's a spreadsheet tracking all of this, and I definitely believe there is, it's about to get a very confusing entry. We'll update when one of us cracks.
Actually, I can find out who the author is because she put me on her Audible because I'm supposed to listen to the book. This one is A Court of Thorns and Roses. This one's from Sarah Moss. Sarah, Emily, same difference.
All right, so this one is final update after 5 days, 3 days after the last post. If you read my original post or my last updates, you'll know that my husband has been acting out the spicy scenes with me from whatever romance novel I was reading before I even read them. A few days ago, I set a trap for him. I read ahead and initiated a specific spicy scene with him from my current read before he could get to it. Nothing happened the next day, which I thought was weird, so I decided to escalate. This time, the bait was that I started to read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This is all just an ad for spicy books.
Dude is 40 thinking because now she's initiating all this sex and stuff, trying to beat him to the book. And he's like, I knew it would happen.
If you've read it, you might understand why I chose that book. While we're adventurous, there are certain things we don't usually do. Butt stuff.
Butt stuff.
A couple of days ago, we were eating lunch. We were both working from home, and he said, fully serious, if you really want to, you can. When I asked him what the hell he was talking about, he finally broke. Turns out you all were right. He had access to my shared Kindle library and got this idea for a prank, but once he did it a few times, he really got, quote, invested. He's going to stop spoiling my books, but we did come up with another arrangement, also thanks to the comments here. I'm going to give him a list of pre-approved spicy scenes, and he'll choose in no specific order which he wants to surprise me with. Yes, there was a spreadsheet, chili pepper emojis for spice levels, a column for notes, needs wine, links to Spotify playlists, color coding, multiple tabs. Damn, this guy's got it down to a science. More organization than even I was expecting. It will be ongoing and is now shared so I can drop in my own chili peppers and notes. After all of this, I showed him my original post and the updates. We listened to 2 hot takes together every week, so he knew exactly what he was looking at.
Fuck.
By the end of reading the comments, we were both crying, laughing. He doesn't have a Reddit account, but he's offered to answer any questions or DM your man with tips on how to be this level of iconic. We'll respond to as many comments as we can. 11 years. I really should have seen this coming. And then there's some comments, but I think we're good.
I think we're good. I love how he's like, if you really want to, we can. It was butt stuff to him.
Yeah.
He was like, fuck. Oh my God, why is she reading that? Yeah, I think at that point the charade is over.
I think it was probably adding a third, like a dude.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like so
And
you
then
got
the dudes
so you
do
got
butt stuff.
cuckolded. I didn't get cuckolded. I got my wife was reading a book and I was playing into the fantasy. So really, I was pranking her.
It was a prank.
It was a prank. Yeah.
I just had to do some butt stuff with the guy, and but
I wish I
got
would have
her.
seen it before I brought the guy over because that thing was massive. But yeah, pranked.
Gotcha.
God, the whole time I was like laughing at it, like, I got you pranked.
You've been punked.
God, look at the look on her face. It's like pure pleasure and then pranked. I got pranked.
And I only cried a little bit.
Yeah, I cried, but the tears would suck back in when I remember prank time. It's Prankville. Guys, I don't know how y'all watch this. Go to 2 Hot Takes. I love you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Later.